And it's the kind of film that hadn't been done in quite a while, where there wasn't any cursing, yet you didn't miss the cursing, and that type.
What is that screeching in the background? It's the producer saying...
You won't believe what just happened on live television. Sylvester Stallone, the legendary action hero we all know and love, just walked onto Jimmy Kimmel's show and delivered one of the most shocking moments in late-night TV history. And trust me, this wasn't your typical celebrity interview where everyone smiles, laughs, and pretends everything is perfect. No, this was real, this was raw, and this was absolutely unforgettable. So stick around, because what I'm about to tell you will blow your mind. Before we dive into what actually went down, let me set the scene for you. Jimmy Kimmel has been hosting his late-night show for years now, and is known for his quick wit, his funny sketches, and sometimes his controversial jokes. Celebrities come on his show all the time, promoting their movies, sharing funny stories, and playing silly games. It's usually pretty light-hearted stuff. But every once in a while, something happens that nobody expects. And when Sylvester Stallone sat down on that couch, nobody in the audience, nobody watching at home, and probably not even Jimmy Kimmel himself could have predicted what was about to unfold. Sylvester Stallone is not just any celebrity. This is a man who has been in the entertainment industry for over 5 decades. He's the guy who gave us Rocky Balboa, the underdog boxer who proved that with enough heart and determination, anyone can become a champion. He's the man who created John Rambo, the ultimate action hero who could take down entire armies with just his bare hands and a bandana. Stallone has written, directed, and starred in some of the most iconic movies in cinema history. He's a living legend, and at 78 years old, he's still going strong. So when a man like that speaks up, people listen. The interview started off pretty normal. Stallone walked out to huge applause from the audience. Everyone was excited to see him. He was there to talk about his latest project, maybe share some stories from his incredible career, and have a few laughs. Jimmy Kimmel greeted him with his usual enthusiasm, cracking a few jokes as they settled into their seats. For the first few minutes, everything seemed fine. They talked about Stallone's early days in Hollywood, how he struggled to make it as an actor, and how he refused to give up on his dream even when everyone told him he'd never make it. But then something shifted. Kimmel, being the comedian he is, decided to make a joke. Now, I'm not going to repeat the exact words because honestly, it doesn't matter what the specific joke was. What matters is how it landed. Kimmel made a comment that was clearly meant to be funny, something about Stallone's age or maybe about how action movies have changed over the years. The audience laughed a little, probably more out of politeness than anything else. But Sylvester Stallone didn't laugh. Not even a little bit. Instead, he just sat there, looking straight at Kimmel with this intense expression on his face. The studio went quiet. You could feel the tension through the screen. Jimmy Kimmel, probably realizing that his joke didn't land the way he hoped, tried to move on quickly. He started talking about something else, trying to smooth things over. But Stallone wasn't having it. He held up his hand, stopping Kimmel mid-sentence, and said something that nobody expected. He looked directly at the host and said that he was tired of people in Hollywood thinking they could say whatever they wanted without consequences. He said that respect matters, especially when you're talking to someone who has been in this business longer than most people have been alive. The audience was stunned. This wasn't the kind of thing that happens on late-night television. These shows are carefully planned and rehearsed. Everyone knows their role. The host makes jokes, the celebrity laughs along, they promote whatever they're selling, and everyone goes home happy. But Stallone just threw the script out the window. He wasn't playing along anymore. He was speaking his truth, and he was doing it on live television in front of millions of people. Jimmy Kimmel tried to recover. He started apologizing, saying that he didn't mean anything by his comment, that it was just a joke. But Stallone cut him off again. He said that the problem with Hollywood today is that people hide behind the word joke when they want to say something disrespectful. He talked about how back in his day, if you had something to say to someone, you said it to their face with honesty, not disguised as comedy. He said that real respect means treating people with dignity, regardless of whether there are cameras around or not. What made this moment so powerful wasn't just what Stallone said, but how he said it. He wasn't yelling or getting angry. He was calm, collected, and absolutely in control. His voice was steady, his words were clear, and every single person watching could tell that he meant every word. This wasn't some rehearsed speech or a publicity stunt. This was a man who has lived an incredible life, overcome impossible odds, and earned his place as a legend, standing up for himself and for what he believes in. The audience didn't know how to react at first. There was this awkward silence that seemed to last forever. But then, slowly, people started clapping. It started with just a few people, but within seconds, the entire studio audience was on their feet giving Sylvester Stallone a standing ovation. Even some of the crew members were clapping. It was one of those rare moments where you could tell that something real and genuine had just happened, something that reminded everyone watching why they fell in love with this man and his movies in the first place. Jimmy Kimmel sat there looking uncomfortable. He tried to laugh it off, tried to make another joke to lighten the mood, but it fell completely flat. Stallone just looked at him with this knowing expression, like he'd made his point and there was nothing left to say. After a moment, Kimmel tried to steer the conversation back to safer territory, asking Stallone about his upcoming projects. But the energy in the room had completely changed. Everyone knew they had just witnessed something special, something that would be talked about for days, weeks, maybe even years to come. What's really interesting about this whole situation is what it says about Hollywood and celebrity culture today. We live in a time where celebrities are expected to just smile and take whatever comes their way. Late-night hosts make jokes, sometimes mean ones, and the guests are supposed to laugh along like it's all in good fun. But Sylvester Stallone showed us that you don't have to play that game. You can stand up for yourself. You can demand respect. And you can do it without being rude or aggressive. You can do it with class and dignity. Think about Stallone's journey for a moment. This is a man who was told he'd never make it as an actor because of the way he talked, because of the way he looked, because he didn't fit the Hollywood mold. He was so broke at one point that he had to sell his dog just to pay his bills. But he didn't give up. He wrote the script for Rocky in just 3.5 days, and when studios wanted to buy it but use a different actor, he refused. He believed in himself so much that he turned down life-changing money just to stay true to his vision. And it paid off. Rocky became one of the biggest movies of all time, won multiple Academy Awards, and turned Stallone into a superstar. That kind of determination and self-belief doesn't just disappear. It's part of who he is. So when he sat on that couch across from Jimmy Kimmel, he wasn't going to let anyone disrespect him or diminish what he's accomplished. He's earned his place in Hollywood history, and is not about to let anyone forget it. The reaction online was immediate and intense. Within minutes, clips of the confrontation were all over social media. Twitter exploded with people taking sides. Some people praised Stallone for standing up to Kimmel, calling him a hero and saying that more celebrities should follow his example. Others thought he overreacted and that Kimmel was just doing his job as a comedian. But regardless of which side people were on, everyone was talking about it. The video went viral, racking up millions of views in just a few hours. Several other celebrities chimed in too. Some defended Kimmel, saying that late-night hosts have a tough job and that celebrities need to have thicker skin. But many others supported Stallone. They shared their own stories of times when they felt disrespected in interviews but felt pressured to just smile and play along because that's what was expected. Stallone's moment of honesty seemed to open up a larger conversation about respect, boundaries, and the power dynamics in Hollywood. What's particularly powerful about this moment is that it came from Sylvester Stallone specifically. This isn't some young actor trying to make a name for themselves or someone known for causing drama. This is a man who has been successful for decades, who has nothing left to prove, who could easily just coast on his legacy. But instead, he chose to speak up. He chose to use his platform and his voice to say something that needed to be said. And that's what makes him not just a great actor, but a great man. The interview eventually wrapped up, though it was clear that everyone involved was still processing what had happened. Jimmy Kimmel thanked Stallone for coming on the show, though his usual enthusiasm was noticeably absent. Stallone shook his hand, professional to the end, and walked off stage to another round of applause. But the damage, or maybe the impact, was already done. This wasn't going to be just another celebrity interview that people forgot about the next day. This was going to be remembered. In the days following the show, Jimmy Kimmel addressed what happened. He said that he had the utmost respect for Sylvester Stallone and that he never intended to offend him. He acknowledged that maybe his joke crossed a line and that he should have been more thoughtful. It was a genuine apology, and to his credit, Kimmel seemed to understand why Stallone reacted the way he did. But the conversation didn't stop there. People kept debating, kept discussing, kept sharing their opinions about what it all meant. Some media outlets tried to spin it as a feud, as if Stallone and Kimmel were now enemies. But that's not what this was about. This wasn't personal. This was about principle. This was about a man who has worked incredibly hard his entire life, who has earned his success through blood, sweat, and tears, standing up and saying that everyone deserves to be treated with respect. That's a message that resonates with people, especially in today's world where it sometimes feels like respect and decency are becoming rare commodities. What Sylvester Stallone did on that stage took courage. It would have been so easy to just laugh along, to pretend like everything was fine, to avoid making waves. But he didn't take the easy path. He never has. From the very beginning of his career, Stallone has been someone who does things his own way, who stands up for what he believes in, who refuses to compromise his values just to make other people comfortable. That's what made him Rocky. That's what made him Rambo. And that's what made this moment on Jimmy Kimmel's show so incredibly powerful. The beautiful thing about all of this is that it reminds us that our heroes are human. Sylvester Stallone isn't just a character on a movie screen. He's a real person with real feelings, real experiences, and a real backbone. He's someone who has faced rejection, failure, and hardship, and who has overcome it all through sheer determination and an unwillingness to quit. And when he felt disrespected, he didn't just sit there and take it. He stood up for himself in a way that was dignified, powerful, and completely authentic. This moment also serves as a lesson for all of us. You don't have to accept disrespect in your life. It doesn't matter who's doing it or what the situation is. You have the right to stand up for yourself, to set boundaries, to demand that you be treated with the dignity and respect that every human being deserves. Sylvester Stallone showed us that you can do this without being mean, without losing your cool, without stooping to anyone else's level. You can simply speak your truth, stand your ground, and let your character do the talking. As the dust settles on this incredible moment, one thing is crystal clear. Sylvester Stallone remains a legend, not just because of the movies he's made or the characters he's brought to life, but because of who he is as a person. He's someone who has never forgotten where he came from, who has never let success change his core values, and who continues to inspire people around the world with his strength, his resilience, and his unwavering commitment to living life on his own terms. The confrontation with Jimmy Kimmel might have lasted only a few minutes, but its impact will last much longer. It reminded us all that real strength isn't about muscles or action scenes. It's about having the courage to stand up for yourself and what you believe in, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it would be easier to stay quiet. That's the kind of strength that Sylvester Stallone has been showing us for decades, both on screen and off. So if you haven't seen the clip yet, you need to check it out. It's one of those rare moments in television history that actually matters, that says something important about respect, dignity, and standing up for yourself. It's a reminder that our heroes aren't perfect, but they're real, and sometimes they do things that remind us why we looked up to them in the first place. If you enjoyed this story and want to stay updated on all the latest celebrity news, shocking moments, and incredible stories from Hollywood and beyond, make sure you hit that like button right now. Share this video with your friends and family because trust me, everyone needs to hear about this. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on those notifications so you never miss another amazing video. We're bringing you the content that matters, the stories that inspire, and the moments that everyone's talking about. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.